Hey Hunters, in today's videos we're diving deep into the recent Savage X Chargeblade changes from patch 1.020 of Monster Hunter Wilds. We will walk through all the key nerfs and buffs in detail and then look at the damage timeline graph that visualizes the Savage X changes to Chargeblade to compare the post-patch and pre-patch, especially in longer hunts. So let's get started. First, let's take a quick look at the raw patch notes affecting Chargeblade according to emma-chargeblade.net. Here's what Capcom changed on June 29, 2025 for Chargeblade. Mechanical changes. X super elemental discharge files become stronger if the attack follows an AED or AED2 for both impact and element files. Guard points can now trigger perfect guard if timed correctly. The timing window is shorter compared to perfect guard, using regular guarding. X elemental discharge 1 chains quicker into basic X moves, not elemental discharge 2. Physical motion value changes. Sword reach slash 12 to 15. Sword return stroke from 15 to 18. Charge rising slash 13 to 15. Shield thrust first hit 12 to 15. Elemental discharge 1 X hit 53 to 51. Elemental discharge 2 first X hit 35 to 25. And elemental discharge X hit 65 to 68. And elemental discharge follow-up X hit 72 to 78. Super and elemental discharge first exit 12 to 16. Second exit 77 to 78. Third exit 36 to 45. Power X6 14 to 10. Impact file motion value changes. Explosion after condensed sword slash 23 to 25. Elemental discharge 1 and 2 file from 10 to 12. Overcharged from 12 to 14. Amped elemental discharge files from 12 to 16. Overcharged 16 to 20. Super amped elemental discharge files from 23 to 28. Overcharged 28 to 30. New super amped elemental discharge files linked from an amped elemental discharge has now a motion value of 38. Overcharged 45. Elemental file motion value changes. Elemental discharge 1 and 2 files from 2 to 2.1. Overcharged 2.2 to 2.4. And elemental discharge files from 4 to 4.2. Overcharged 5 to 6. Super and elemental discharge files 8 to 8.2. Overcharged 10 to 11. New SAED files linked from AED has a motion value of 10. Overcharged 14. So yes, some numbers went up, but let's be real, the core loop of Savage X, Power Ticks and Elemental Discharge 2 got nerfed. Now to show what those numbers changes mean, I created a damage graph that shows a side-by-side comparison. Whole patch versus post-patch damage over time and also for a cycle. To keep in mind, this assumes an ideal hunt, so no dodging, no repositioning, you always hit the same hit zone. Here I calculated with 60. Always have wide sharpness, always crits, and the monsters enraged the entire time of the hunt. In that way we can compare it more easily. and it's helpful for understanding the impact of a full Savage X combo loop over and over. So, small explanation to the Savage X combo I'm also assuming we charge the shield and X and hit overcharge files. Starting off with a Elemental Discharge 1 with 5 power ticks and a overcharge file burst. Follow up with a Elemental Discharge 2, 5 power ticks, overcharge file burst, and end it with a X up slash and 5 power ticks. So each cycle has a unique motion values before and after the patch, and the plot shows the drop in damage per step. In the graph we can see that we started by 35,500 HP at second 0. The green line is the current patch and the red line shows us the old patch. In this case we can observe that the post-patch line has a 35-second gap, which means in this ideal comparison we have a huge DPS drop. To make it more clearly, we can compare both version cycle damage. Here we can see both cycle takes 8 seconds. In those 8 seconds we do 244.7 damage less, which means if we compare both versions we can say that we lose 16.1% damage compared to before. Or in other words, we did 19.1 damage more before the patch. Now to set it to real gameplay. Since in real gameplay it's not ideal, means beside the damage cycle we do other things like buff maintenance, dodging, blocking or dealing with monster interruptions. To clearing up what I mean. Buff maintenance. The power X mode lasts for 120 seconds. The charge shield lasts for 200 seconds. Charge sword lasts for 90 seconds. Besides the charge sword for Savage X, these alts need to be refreshed, costing time and openings. Dodging or repositioning. In a typical quest includes we need to reposition ourselves or dodge frequently. Means if the quest takes longer, we need to do that more often. For monster interruptions, I mean roars, running to walls, flying, moving zones, getting hit. Any of these means we are doing 0 DPS while the uptime drops. So that means the graph it generates to the post-patch damage. In reality, you may lose even more damage. To summarize, Savage X Charge Blade got nerfed, Power Ticks and Elemental Discharge 2, where the core of the sustained DPS, both hit badly. While File Burst damage saw buffs, it doesn't make up for the massive loss in sustained uptime for the Savage X style. Thanks for watching and see you in the next hunt.